Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. Okay, why managing your energy is so important. Your energy levels literally affect everything that you do. We can very easily get caught up in feeling like if we're in a bad mood or feeling negative, that there's something fundamentally wrong with us at an identity level, which then just escalates the negative feeling, right? Then you start to beat yourself up for not being positive or not showing up in the way that you want to. But with a little self-awareness, we can overcome that pesky ego, realize it may not actually be about us, and be able to handle it so much better. Now, the reason I want to talk about this today is because I've just got back from a super intense event in Amsterdam, and it was so interesting to observe my moods, my behaviour, where my thoughts wanted to go as the week progressed, based completely around my energy levels. Yeah. So what gives me energy and what takes it away, and what the results are of me having a lack of energy. Now, this often happens to me at these kind of events, and it is always new levels of self-awareness aplenty. Now, this is important. It highlighted something for me that I want to share with you, because it's so fundamentally important to understand that you are not your thoughts, you are not your moods, but your energy really can affect both quite drastically. Now, we make assumptions about what the problem is, and we usually decide that it's us. And I covered a lot of this in the episode, What's the Problem Really?, which I'll link to, about where we can very easily make assumptions and labels about what's wrong with us, labeling it, that is that actually stops us identifying the very thing that could make you feel better much more quickly and easily, because we stop looking for the root of the issue once we've labeled it or made assumptions. You can identify it and literally snap yourself out of the feeling, because you have no emotional attachment to it anymore when you do what we're talking about now. So I normally have some pretty strict non-negotiables with myself and my routine that are obviously very difficult, if not impossible sometimes, to follow while you're away and technically on someone else's schedule. Things like sleep. People don't seem to value it as much as me. I'm an 8 hours per night kind of a gal. I'm really strict with it because I know how much it affects me. It's different for different people, but I know about me. And a lack of sleep in general can cause you to lose concentration and productivity. It decreases your social and emotional intelligence. So your ability to read situations, read other people and your own emotions. Yeah, it can cause procrastination and a lack of motivation, can lack focus. Essentially, your brain can't function to the best of its ability and you are off your game. I like to get up a couple of hours earlier than I need to go through my routine, cup of Earl Grey or hot water with lemon, read some of my book, journal, etc. No phones, all of that sort of stuff. And also, one of my biggest peeves in life is feeling rushed. And I know that about myself. So I put contingencies in place, which means I very rarely do feel it until it's more out of my control than I'm on someone else's schedule. So when I'm at 5-day events that are 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. with few breaks, and when you do have a break, you have to rush to the toilet or rush to find food nearby, meaning it doesn't really feel like much of a break. It becomes a choice between slightly more sleep or feeling rushed. So I would always choose slightly more sleep because I know that that will have a much bigger effect on me and my energy and my experience at the event. Now, another thing is eating rubbish and not drinking enough water. I actively go against what I know to be true at these events and not drink lots of water because there are limited breaks. They're kind of every couple of hours. And that's bonkers. But it happens because I don't want to leave the room and miss something. And I don't want to sit there cross-legged, unable to concentrate because all I'm focusing on is the fact I need to go for a wee. And I make a choice for what's going to be better for me in that moment. It may not be the choice that you would make, but it's the choice that I do. And I also eat a lot. I have a loads of snacks because when I really, and I'm not a snacker at all, when I really feel my energy drop or start to feel sleepy, it's the worst thing when you start to do, you know, the nodding dog. The best thing for me to do is have a snack. I try and make them as healthy as possible and obviously as the least crunchy possible to not pee anyone else off, but but then I feel bad about eating all the snacks, but at least I'm awake, right? And if I'm being honest, all this stuff can affect me quite a lot, and until I catch myself in it, I can get a little bit frustrated with myself because guess what, I'm a human too. You know, you don't have to be perfect all the time, and sometimes it's actually really hard and often impractical to 100% practice what you preach. But it's about doing what you can and being aware and practicing a little bit of compassion and forgiveness for yourself in the process. So how can this help you? So I'm going to tell you the behaviors and thoughts that I notice start to creep in myself. And you might be able to identify a couple of yours, meaning that the next time you're not feeling quite yourself, or you know, you're feeling a little bit like flat, you might be able to identify them. So meaning that you're going to be able to troubleshoot them, if you will, to get back on track. You know, it'll help you identify what you need more or less of. It will help you understand it's not you on an unconscious identity level, so to speak, and therefore reducing the emotions surrounding it, meaning you can simply choose another thought and let it go. Now, with all of this going on at this event, it's no surprise to me that I started to feel frustrated with myself and like I wasn't quite showing up as my best possible Franny. When I was tired, was eating rubbish, eating way more than I normally would, and my brain was just utterly overloaded, and I was 100% out of my routine. I couldn't even get a cup of tea. Why is tea with milk only a thing in England? Why is that? Somebody let me know. Now, this training was incredible, don't get me wrong. I feel so grateful and so fortunate to be able to do these things and have access to literally the best of the best in terms of my training and education. And I do not take that for granted. But I can find them tough because of all this stuff. Energizing at the same time in moments because the speakers are world class at managing the energy in the room, which is fascinating to watch as well, because anything they do in the room, you can do out of the room. But it can be tough. So the person teaching was literally my mentor's mentor when it comes to marketing. He has trained some of the best in the industry. Russell Brunson, Ryan Dice, Brian Tracy, Vishen Lakhiani of Mind Valley, Brendan Bashard, Jay Abraham, tons more. So I was making sure I was taking copious amounts of notes and making sure I absorbed as much as I could. Then came the overload. Now, psychologist George Miller's research suggests that the short-term memory can only hold so much information at once. 7 chunks of information, plus or minus 2, depending on the person. So that's only 5 to 9 pieces, 5 to 9 chunks of information. That is not a lot, right? And processing information takes up a huge amount of energy. The brain, tiny little thing that it is in comparison, uses up 20% of the body's total energy in a resting state. So when you consider how small the brain is in comparison to the rest of your body, you can see just how high that percentage really is. And the areas that use the most energy are responsible for auditory processing and memory. And what do you need most whilst you're learning? So you can see where this is going, right? So because of all of this, my energy levels were really low. I had an overloaded brain, not enough sleep, eating rubbish food and lots of it, running off adrenaline and rushing everywhere, and I was out of my routine. Now, when all this is going on, the things that you've worked hard to stop doing seem to just bubble right up to the surface. You have a little less resolve. So there's the real thing going on, the cause of my frustration, if you will. Instead of like the thoughts and feelings, feeling like they were me, they were everything that was going on, let's get a little bit more practical about it. And now let's have a talk about some of the symptoms so you can see if any of these resonate for you. And if they do, where in your life right now are you out of balance? What else could be a good possible cause for negative feelings? Can you see any easy course corrects that would get you feeling better? And how are you taking care of yourself and protecting your energy? So I found myself feeling or being feeling more negativity, more skepticism, less patience with myself and other people, less concentration, more judgmental. People started to annoy me a bit. My fuse got shorter. I wanted to hermit a bit because the introvert in me was having a field day. I'm always saying I'm the I'm the Brexit of introvert extrovert. I'm 48% introvert, 52% extrovert. So I can get energy off people, but my goodness, does it zap my energy as well, and I need to have a little Fran time to pick myself back up. I was feeling a lack of focus, finding it hard, and I'm generally, to be honest, a little bit moany. And that's not me. Now, for me, I do find it really easy to catch myself in these moments so they didn't last that long, and to know what's really going on and flip my thoughts and reframe in an instant. So it's annoying that you feel it, but it's so much easier to get out of, and it doesn't last long. And I'm already in the habit of being the observer of my thoughts. Oh, that's interesting. Where did that come from? Being curious and asking myself the right questions. And you will get there too, if you're not there just yet. So the main thing is knowing how to get out of those thought processes, taking away the emotion, making it less personal and emotional. So take out those thought processes as and when you want to, but also thinking outside of the box for ways to improve the situation for you. So what could you do that would potentially create some damage limitation for the lack of energy? The more you can recognize your own patterns, habits, and behaviors, the easier and quicker it is for you to get out of, the quicker it is for you to recognize it. So it's almost like something that would have lasted all day becomes just a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds or one thought. So when you're feeling a bit meh or not feeling yourself, have a look at a few of these things. Where is your energy? What normally gives you energy that you're not doing? What tweak could you make that is actually going to make you feel better? Is exercise, blasting out a power ballad? That's mine. If not Disney. Having a dance, drinking more water. I've got a ton of other ideas in the episode How to Change Your State Quickly, so go check that out too. But of course, if you have chronic low energy, then please do seek the advice of your GP, of course. And I just wanted to say, with absolutely horrendously awful news last week of the beautiful Caroline Flack, I also think it's hugely important to mention, if you are feeling low for a sustained period of time, then please do seek the relevant help. There is always someone ready and waiting to talk to you, whether it's a friend or family member, a health professional, or a company like the Samaritans. There is always someone there for you. And you can go to www.samaritans.org and you can call 116 123 24 hours a day in the UK, whether you're worried about yourself or a loved one. So in a world where you can be anything, please be kind to yourself, to others. Think before you speak, think before you judge, and remember that you never know what might be going on for someone else. So let's all lead with a little more love. So if you got value from this, and in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.